It is 6 o'clock. I'm calling this meeting to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Here.
Pena?
Here.
Graziano?
Here.
Ms. Martin? Robel? Mr. Muhlenberg? Mayor Melham?
Here, sunshine notice.
Pursuant to the requirements of an Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was published in the Thursday, July 1st, 2021 editions of the Belleville Times and Star Ledger. A copy of the annual meeting notice has been posted on the Belleville Town Hall Bulletin Board, and copies are on file in the municipal clerk's office.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting. The next topic of our agenda is executive session. I do regret to inform the audience here tonight that we do have one topic for executive session. That topic is solid waste removal contract, AKA our garbage contract. We do have to clear the room, albeit temporarily. We expect it to be 5 to 10 minutes. No action will be taken while we're in executive session. You'll be invited to rejoin the meeting as soon as we exit. Okay, everybody, thank you for rejoining our meeting. We're going to continue. As I mentioned, we were in executive session to discuss solid waste removal contract, AKA our garbage contract. No action was taken while we were in executive. Continuing with the conference portion of the meeting, this is our first meeting of the month. It's also our only meeting of the month. Therefore, first meeting of the month also serves as our council caucus. Therefore, council members can put any item they want on the agenda for discussion. It's a little awkward for the audience being here and the audience watching online because it is basically a discussion among the council with our professionals and or any of our invited guests. If you do hear something that you're curious about, while you can't speak during this portion of the meeting, you most certainly can do so during public commenting when it comes to that time. So without further ado, the first item that I have on the agenda under me is to receive Vessel Technologies, but now we're going by Park Grove Realty regarding 55 and older housing in Belleville. I'm going to ask Mr. Iacono just to tee this up a bit, but make sure your mic is turned on, and also make sure, Ms. Guaman, that microphone is turned on.
We're good to go. That one's good to go. I put that one on, Jack.
So, again, do you want
So,
to?
as part of a, long-term agenda that we have here in Belleville, there's one thing that obviously we all know that Belleville does not have, and that's senior affordable housing. And it's very frustrating because it's a request that we hear from a lot of our younger people for their parents and moms and dads that have lived in Belleville for their entire life, and they're at the point where they can't afford to live in a home, or possibly they don't need to live in a home because they don't need that much space. So clearly, if we're able to ever come up with this opportunity, it's something that we would certainly ask the mayor and council to consider. Park Grove Realty has many years of experience specifically in that. And we asked them to take a look at our present rec house and said, which, by the way, the rec house itself right now is in desperate repair of not only a lot of repair, but a lot of expense to bring it up to code. So it would be something a piece of property that we would consider prior to spending money on a very old building. Maybe this could possibly be, and again, everything that we're talking about tonight is what I would emphasize as an exploratory opportunity for us to take a look and see if it makes sense. So we reached out to several companies, but quite frankly, Park Grove was a company that came in, spent some time, looked at it. The mayor and council, you have a little bit of a, I wouldn't call it a schematic, but certainly a scale of a 122 unit senior housing project. And again, in the event that this project advances, then, it creates another topic for another day of, okay, where do we put our rec center? And again, it's something that we would all have to address. But certainly for tonight, 10, 15-minute little presentation, get us thinking about this opportunity. Certainly for the residents of Belleville, this would be, it wouldn't be a home run. It would probably be a grand slam.
Yep.
So
Okay.
that's basically it. And at this point, is it all right to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you, council and mayor. I'll keep it brief. I know you have a full agenda tonight, and I appreciate you making the time for this. I was asked to take a look at the rec center site at 407 Jora Lemon, and as what mentioned, we believe the building's underutilized, major need of repair. It's in disrepair. And we've done a brief analysis of that site for senior affordable housing. We have a lot of experience in developing this type of housing, both family and senior. We believe the concept here would be to create a senior housing concept that would be serving area residents 55 and older. And the target population would be area residents that are on fixed incomes. With what we believe would be very affordable rents, and the rents can be scaled or targeted to even more specific or lower income or medium income seniors, depending on what the town would like to target. So we believe that that these projects are highly competitive to get funded through the state. Essentially, it is a state-sponsored program that would provide tax credits, incentives to a developer, and in return, the rents are fixed for 35 years plus. In this case, would be 50 years. And the rents are targeted to specific area median incomes. In this case, we believe it would probably serve the community best to do primarily one-bedrooms, maybe a handful of two-bedrooms, for the targeted population of seniors. The property itself be very high-end, a lot of amenities that would assist area residents to age in place for the long term. And the rents would likely, currently the rents would be for a one-bedroom $1,300 or less, depending on the targets or income levels we wanted to target, and for two bedrooms, $1,450 or less. As mentioned, these programs are very competitive. On any given year, the state might receive 75 to 85 applications. Somewhere between 17 to 25 would be funded in any given year. And really, the applications that are funded, it really is dependent on how serious the town wants to see these projects get done. So there's a handful of things that are really required, not only to meet threshold, but it's a competitive scoring process. The contribution of the land is critical for success. A pilot, a real estate tax pilot to assist in the financing is critical for the success of these projects. And there's also contributions of soft money that are required to make the financing work. We did a density analysis of the site, and that needs a lot of work. This is very preliminary, what we've provided, and if this is something the town is interested in, we would love to get an engineer involved to qualify what we've done, qualify the site, and really bring a lot more due diligence to the project. But we believe it would be a one-building scenario with structured parking. In other words, the base floor would be parking with residential units up top. We believe, based on what's in the town, a four-story building would be very acceptable in this neighborhood. And that would provide for somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 residential units. So, as I said, I wanted to keep it brief and make sure I had time for questions. But I want to make sure I address those, if there are any.
Thank you for that concise
Absolutely.
overview. I'll open up to the council. And again, members of the public, if you have a question, you can feel free to ask that during public commenting. This is right now among the council and our professionals. Any? Tony, anybody?
Yeah, thank you for coming tonight.
Absolutely.
Quick, just one question. I love the idea of senior housing. I'm not sold on the location. So you did say in lieu of a contribution of land, it would be possible that we did something from the Affordable Housing Fund. So roughly for 120 units, what would a contribution from that fund be? Roughly, I would never hold you to it, but.
Well, I would say in rough numbers, usually soft money is somewhere around $75,000 per unit to be successful.
Okay.
That's substantial.
And Vinny, just so you know, the way that we landed on that, it was an early conversation, and it was, these projects aren't feasible if they have to purchase land. So
Of course.
what land do we have available? Not that the rec house is available, but looking long-term.
Right.
We don't know what the future of that land or property is going to be. We figured, well, let's do a preliminary with this target, but it could be anywhere.
Got it.
And that's the first I'm hearing about the 75,000 per unit. So that's,
It's a significant contribution. It doesn't all have to come from the township. There is county funds available. If this is something you'd like to pursue, I would bring my team in and we would really lay this out for you with respect to the financing package. And it's a very transparent project, process. Everything we do and the application itself, the town would be copied on. So you're, very transparent process.
I mean, that's roughly 8 million or so. So we're basically, I mean, are we paying for building it? I don't,
No,
it's
I-
not really, I mean, to me, soft cost is a little engineering work, a little,
I would say the all-in cost for a project like this are somewhere around $325,000 a unit to build it. That's hard costs, soft costs, all in.
yeah. Okay. Tommy, anybody?
Yeah, I had a question in regards to parking and, just want to understand how all of this works. So I see that there are 120 rental units and 105 parking spaces. Is that, can you speak upon whether that's customary to not have a parking spot? Like I think of my parents, right, who are in their 60s and each one of them has vehicles. And kind of what that, what our responsibility is also to make sure that the residential area that's around there, there's still enough parking there in terms of the impact that will have. Can you speak to that, please?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and the parking is going to drive the number of units that the sites can support. In our experience, about 0.6 to 0.7 cars per unit is acceptable. That's not going to meet RSIS, the engineering requirements, which would be much more than that. Usually it's about 1.2 cars per unit. But for a senior affordable, we believe it's enough. From a market standpoint and what we would live with as the owner, we think that would be sufficient.
Okay, thanks.
Tommy?
Yeah, just two questions. So we were talking numbers, 1,300 max, one bedroom, two bedrooms, 1,450. but
Or
you're
less,
s-
or less was the word you used.
But, yes, or less. But at a 50,000 view, which you're coming at, right, and needing to do more diligence, how can you really derive at those numbers? You don't foresee them higher but lower, possibly?
The program is a very successful program for affordable housing, and the state sponsors it. And so the state provides the bulk of the financing through tax credits. And in order to receive those tax credits, it's a private financing mechanism. In other words, it's a public-private partnership. We would own it. We're a private company. However, what the state and the municipality get in return are these fixed rent levels for 50 years.
Okay.
So we don't have the flexibility to say, our costs have gone up, trash removal's gone up, taxes have gone up, we need higher rent. These rents are fixed based on the area median income for 50 years.
Okay, and then one question more to piggyback on Deputy Mayor. When it comes to parking, how does it pertain to our zoning today? Right now, I believe with all new construction, one parking per bedroom,
Depends on where you are.
depending where you are. So in the zone of where this would be, does that also,
Well, to dovetail with some of the financing that was just being discussed, because everything is fixed for 50 years or 30 years, when we heard the word pilot, that's not necessarily a tax abatement, that's to stabilize, so they know what their fixed costs are going forward.
That's right.
Just like that, if there had to be a pilot, that pilot would have a redevelopment area, and we would have an overlay zone, so they wouldn't be held to our current standard,
okay, thank you.
in my opinion.
Thank you.
But I just want to be very clear to anybody listening. We don't need any misleading or anonymous flyers being distributed around the neighborhood of the rec house. This may be a property, this may not be the property, this may happen, this may not happen. This is a discussion that we're all having. Every other council member besides myself and Mr. Iacono are hearing this all for the first time. So I just want to put that out there to everybody. But thank you so much
Yep.
for the presentation.
And I'll just say, what we meant to show here is a density analysis. In other words, we don't think it could support more than 120. If the municipality wanted 100 units, 75 units, if there's a number that you really wanted to target, it's totally acceptable. It's your land.
Got it.
So, thank you. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Give you guys a call. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
So we're moving on to discussions. We're going to postpone my second discussion for the first meeting in January, which would be January 11th, which is actually our next caucus meeting. And the next item for discussion is Councilmember Ravel's. Councilmember Ravel's not here, so we will also push that to January 11th. So, Madam Clerk, can you just forward those two to 1/11/2022? Okay, we are up to report of the manager.
Good evening, everyone, again, and it's the time of the year where we are putting a lot of things, closing a lot of items out for the 2021, getting ready for 2022. We have some good news and maybe some bad news to report as it pertains to FEMA. And if everybody can put their thinking cap back on, in August of 2020, we had a tropical, in August of 2020, we had a tropical storm. It was called, I'm going to say it, probably pronounce it wrong, Isaias. Some people say it Isaias, but it was a tropical storm. And if you remember, it wasn't as bad as this past storm, Ida, but we did have a lot of outage. And there was actually over a million residents in New Jersey that lost power for over a week. Belleville was pretty good. We had one section of our town maybe for 2 days, but it did do substantial tree damage. So the good news is that we just received confirmation that from the storm of August 2020, we're going to receive roughly $90,000 of reimbursement. And $90,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is this last storm, which we're all very, very familiar with because of the floods and the amount of damage in cars and property and actually life, not so much in Belleville, but that storm, Ida, our numbers we're still asking for reimbursement, and, we're way up over $1 million. So the good news is we're receiving money from August 2020. The bad news is for the amount of money that we spent on Ida, which is over $1 million, the reality of it is we probably won't see that until 2022, 23. So, and all that money that we spent on that storm, obviously we would never budgeted for, so we're going to make up for it in the next budget, and then the following year, hopefully we get, that recovery money. So it's good news, bad news. Obviously we're happy to be able to accept $90,000 from the tropical storm in August of 2020, and we're still actually working on Ida, and we actually have a contractor going to the Public Works site tomorrow, taking more stuff out. He'll probably be there for 2 or 3 days. So with that, I wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas. Most important, a happy and healthy New Year. And that's my last report for 2021. Thank you.
Council members, any questions, Mr. Iacono, about his report?
None.
About his good news and bad news and all that?
This is your last report for 2021 as well.
I'm going to begin my last report, my last mayor's report. Next time on the agenda is the report of the mayor. So I always start off with past events. Today I had the opportunity to go to the senior center, which looks great, by the way. Our seniors are happily back there on Tuesday and Friday. We've started a brand new program called Tai Chi Yoga. I honestly did not think how how that was going to turn out, but apparently our numbers are ticking up every single week, and it was a great event. We had, I think, 20 different seniors there today. It was great seeing them out and about. I also joined them all at noon at their Christmas party at Nanina's. Nanina's always does a great job taking care of our seniors. So that said, every single Tuesday, we have Tai Chi Yoga from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock at the senior building. Every single Thursday, we now have Zumba at the senior center from 9 to 10. Two different bits of programming that we're able to offer our seniors. They seem to be very, very happy about that. This coming Friday, I'm told the weather is going to hold. I'm told it's going to be warm. This coming Friday is our winter festival and Christmas tree lighting from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock at the high school. Tree lighting will be at 9 p.m., very sharp. We expect it to be packed. Our most recent events, whether they're Halloween or Easter, have had unbelievable turnouts. I think people are starting to really, really like the programs and the events that we're offering. This coming Saturday was the BPL Express with Santa. It was an indoor event, and I am told, you could check the library website to confirm this, but I'm told that there's a strong possibility of that event being canceled. We did have about 250 children, families registered for that, but check the library website or social media for an update on that. And January 6th, staying in the Christmas theme, January 6th will be our third annual Three Kings Day, and it will be our second drive-through event. That event was very, very popular last year with the drive-through theme because of COVID, but that event seems to work very well for a drive-through, so we are keeping that event a drive-through. Just to be clear, the Winter Festival is not a drive-through. You'll be out of your cars and you'll be walking about. But January 6th is our third annual Three Kings Day drive-through. Just today, a couple hours ago, we did receive news of a passing of Mr. John Caruso, a 100-year-old resident of this township. Unfortunately, today we lost John Caruso. Our regards to his entire family. Every couple months or so, sometimes myself and the manager meet with Dr. Tomko. We did have a little chat, sit down, we call it just a touching base session. We sat down, had a wide-ranging conversations on a multiple of topics. Always like to sit down with Dr. Tomko. He comes here sometimes, we go there. He was here today. We always love having Dr. Tomko in the building, and we love our great working relationship with Dr. Tomko. Residents are beginning to complain again about low-flying planes. For a while, that had subsided. I got a couple different complaints over the weekend. I personally reached out to Teterboro. They did respond, a very long email. I just got it while I was sitting up here. Have not read it yet, but any information I can garner from that email, I will share tomorrow on social media. Potentially, the township can also assist me in sharing that. Only one meeting here in December. That meeting is today. Our next meeting is going to be January 11th. That's a Tuesday. We're back to our regular meeting schedule as far as 2022 is concerned. I did have an opportunity to communicate with Congressman Seary's office. I know the manager was involved in several emails with his office. We're looking for him for assistance, for two different bits of assistance, things that I think Belleville needs and Belleville deserves. You may have read about a $1.1 trillion infrastructure package that was passed by the federal government. Congressman Payne, Newark's congressman, not ours, is one of the authors of that bill. Our congressman, Congressman Series, is aware of Belleville's need. New Jersey will get $165 million of that money just for clean water. I have already been nagging Congressman Series that we talk clean water, we must be talking about Belleville. Newark has no issues with money, and Newark did a fantastic job in 18 months replacing about 18,000 lead lines. Obviously, here in Belleville, as in most suburban municipalities, the lead line replacement is up to the homeowner's responsibility. But if we can get or touch some of that federal money to do it here in Belleville, I certainly want to do that. We also talked to him about some assistance we need with the Newark Reservoir as a passive park. That concept is not dead. That concept is been rebirthed, I think. So we're re-engaging Newark. Newark is re-engaging us. That's not a dead topic. They put the ball in our court, and we're working with our congressman to potentially assist us with that. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I did meet on site. A couple council people were there with us with the DEP and our L29 team. We were on site on one end of Fairway. We were on site at Bridgebrook. We were on site in Suzanne Court, Caroline. We had a delegation from the DEP. They didn't just send somebody to pacify us. They were on the ground. They asked questions. We had the opportunity to meet and discuss some different topics with neighbors. Our entire L29 delegation was there. Our senator was there, 2 assembly people there, even Joe D., our county executive, showed up. We were very grateful for their assistance to book that, but now they got to do something. They now going to give us some answers. They're going to give us some recommendations, some things they can do, some things we can do, and we're awaiting some of their recommendations. Alternate side of the street parking is suspended until spring of 2022. We do have a Christmas decorating contest. Please check the website and social media for that. We also have letters to Santa, 3 different locations. Town Hall, the library, and the rec house, 3 different locations for letters to Santa. Please make sure your children are involved in that. I mentioned our senior programming continues with the Tai Chi and the aerobics. And just to sum up, I know there's been a lot of concern, a lot of frustration, a lot of curiosity with a major incident that happened in Belleville a couple weeks ago in November, late November, an absolutely horrific incident and a horrible crime. Nobody knows my frustration as being somebody who likes to communicate, who likes to tell everybody everything that's going on, and to feel handcuffed. Today, I was briefed once again by our police department, who's done a fantastic job with what they have in their control. I think if you read the police department social media and/or my social media on this topic, it's extremely frustrating for both of us. And we are both feeling the brunt of it. Understandably, people are frustrated. You have to understand that the Essex County Prosecutor's Office is in charge. It's a major crime. Once they step in, we are out. We have no say. We have little information besides what they tell us. Sometimes we are privy, meaning our police department, our law enforcement, is privy to some information that we can't share. And that information, at times, not all of it, at times that information trickles down to me. And I am incredibly frustrated because residents demand answers, rightfully so. Residents want answers, and I totally understand them. And we just don't have the information to share at our disposal. I refer people back to our social media, back to the police department's social media. Police department has said on numerous occasions, in the immediate aftermath of that horrible incident, there was no threat to the public. They said that. That's police department's words. There was no threat to the public, and I ask you to understand that, and if you must, read between the lines as to what that means. Understand that we can't necessarily share everything because there's still an assailant at large, and that person could potentially have access to social media, and that person can very much read what we're telling our residents. But as the police department stated, and I stood and I stand behind our police department, immediately in the aftermath, they went public and said there's no threat to the public at this time. If there was a threat to the public, the police department would have acted. Social media would have been engaged, robocalls would have been engaged, a lot more would have been done. I get it. Members of the public look at us and think that we're not saying anything, therefore we're not doing anything. That's absolutely not true. It's absolutely not true, and trust me, I bear and understand the frustration that the residents feel. I am probably more frustrated that I can't speak or I don't have enough information to really fill in the cracks. That said, I'm going to be reaching out formally to the Essex County Prosecutor's Office and asking them for more formal, concrete information so that we can officially share that information with you. Our hands are absolutely tied in this. I feel for the one victim, and I know her personally. Feel for her, and I feel for all the residents that want answers. I, too, want answers, not necessarily for her, but for all of us as well. And I believe our police department that worked tremendously hard in the early hours of this thing and really got this investigation rolling have been now put on the back burner because it's a major crime by the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. I should have more to say by the end of the week, but unfortunately, that's all I could still say at this point. Okay, that's the end of the report of my manager, report of the mayor. This is the first meeting and the only meeting in a month, so we have committee reports. Does anybody have a committee report, anything to? Yes?
Yeah, I got a couple of little things here, Mayor. Thank you. First off, just real quick, that other location of the Santa's mailbox was at the Franklin Street Firehouse up in Silver Lake. So that's where that one is.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem with that. Also, as far as the grants committee is concerned, we just were notified that we are awarded a grant for marketing and branding of Washington Avenue. So our first meeting is tomorrow, actually, with Voorhees Transportation Center. They're going to be doing all the work on that. No cost to the township. I know the manager's excited about that. We talked about that today a few times. And then finally, we did have a private toy drive the other day. If anyone wants to donate toys, we will be donating them to families in Belleville for our January 6th, Three Kings Day event. So you could contact me directly if anyone would still like to donate some toys for that, and that's it.
We could definitely still use toys for that event, by the
Yeah,
way.
definitely.
They can drop them off in Town Hall. Police Department has.
Yeah, or
box.
Police Department, PBA, and Firehouse, I think, are taking them also.
Yes, and library.
Anybody else? No? Tell me.
Go
No?
there.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes.
Approval of minutes, combined conference and regular meeting of April 13, 2021.
Need a motion?
Motion.
Second it.
Motion made, second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes. Communications.
Letter received from Mayor Melham reappointing Marlene Muniz as a trustee to the Belleville Public Library effective January 1st, 2022.
Okay. Ordinances.
Ordinance for introduction, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 3490, creating permanent position and adopting reclassification and compensation plans.
Make a motion for introduction.
Second it.
Motion made and second for introduction. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes.
An ordinance creating personal positions and adopting classification and compensation plans, BME white collar.
Make a motion for introduction.
Motion made and second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes.
3, an ordinance creating personal positions and adopting classification and compensation plans, BMEW blue collar.
Make a motion for introduction.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second. Clerk, call the roll.
Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes. Just
4.
before we go on number 4, it's only first reading, no public commenting on this. There will be public comment on the second reading, but we do this every single year. You just heard us talk about 3 different unions. Every single year, unions get a contractually obligated increase, whether it's 2%, 1.5%, 2.2%. Every December, we basically have to do this to just add that increment to next year's salaries. Next.
4, an ordinance authorizing executive of financial agreement with MVJ Enterprises LLC pursuant to NJSA 48:21-1 concerning real estate property located at Block 9103, Lot 1.
Make a motion for introduction.
Second it.
Motion made, second for introduction. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes. B, ordinances for public hearing, second and final reading.
1, an ordinance to amend Chapter 2, Section 13.1 of Codified Ordinances entitled An Administration Police Department Fees.
Make a motion open for public hearing.
Motion made and second to open public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstains? None? We're open for public hearing on this ordinance and this ordinance only. Mr. Frantantoni, I just need you to come up and please use the microphone.
I'd just like an explanation of what this is.
I believe it was administrative fees. Are we deleting or reducing? We deleted certain fees. We deleted the administrative processing fee of $15 for firearm.
Took off per page, so.
Getting there. And we deleted the photography of $5 per photograph. We deleted discovery of $1 per photograph. And with regard to motor vehicle incident reports, it's just $2, not $2 per page. And incident reports is just $2, not $2 per page.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Need a motion to close public commenting and move for final adoption.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second to close public commenting and move for final adoption. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes.
2, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 3490, creating permanent positions and adopting reclassification and compensation plans.
Make a motion open for public hearing.
Make a motion to, we have a motion for public hearing. So, Mr. Manager, this is the one that this was the one that's got to be defeated. This was the incorrect title.
Correct.
So we can have public commenting, but this was the incorrect, we're trying to delete a title. We had a retiree, we're trying to delete that title. Unfortunately, the wrong title was advertised on first reading, therefore it's still here on second reading. But we are open for public commenting. Anybody else has a comment? Did we open officially? We did.
Yeah.
No? Okay? Mr. Frantantoni?
What position is
It was it's the incorrect position. It's the Registered Environmental Health Specialist, Public Health. That's not the position we wanted to delete. We want to delete a position.
Sanitation.
Right, we had a retirement, and we don't want to keep that position open, we want to delete that. So you'll be seeing another ordinance in the next meeting or so.
What is that position?
What position was it?
Sanitation representative
All right, it's currently vacant.
Health.
of health.
It's currently vacant. We're deleting a title. That's a good thing, everybody. It's good. Right? Yeah, okay, no. Okay. So let's make a motion to close and call a roll call vote.
Just to close?
Yeah, we're going to make a motion to close public commenting and move for a roll call vote.
Yeah.
A no vote will delete it.
Right.
We'll kill it.
Make a motion.
Second.
Right. Right. And I'm being corrected. A no vote
Defeat.
defeats the ordinance, not deletes it. Will not pass if you vote no. We have a motion?
Yes.
And
We have a second? Okay. Clerk, call individual roll call vote.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
No.
Councilmember DePena?
no.
Councilmember Graziano?
No.
Mayor Melham?
No,
It
we
defeats.
don't want to delete that one. Okay.
Three.
Next ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 2, Section 2-7.1 of the Codified Ordinance entitled Administration Department of Health and Human Services.
Make a motion to open for public hearing.
Second.
Motion made and second to open for public hearing. Mr. Manager, this is the part two of that?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So again, the same explanation I just gave. We're attempting to delete a title, and deleting that title would mean that you have to rewrite the ordinance. We're going to hopefully defeat this, so this stays the same. Next meeting, hopefully in January, Ms. Clerk,
Yes,
we're going to automatically have for first reading the correct position on and the correct amendment to this ordinance.
correct.
But we are open for public commenting. If anyone else has anything to say, seeing none, hearing none, can I entertain a motion to close public commenting and move for a roll call vote?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made in second, roll call vote. A no vote defeats this.
Councilmember Graziano?
No.
DePena?
No.
Cosarelli?
I'll vote no too, yeah.
Mayor Melham?
No. Okay. We did good not defeating, not deleting
Not-
positions we didn't want to delete.
Correct.
Sure that employee's happy. Would have been a rough day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Need a motion, to open public commenting.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made in second, to open public commenting. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we are in the public commenting portion. Every resident has 5 minutes to speak.
I have
Miss-
two.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we do that, we're going to actually read, because we always forget to read. So we have 2 emailed comments.
Yes.
We're going to read the
First
first one.
comment from Alex Gasbaro, Academy Street. Given the fact that the planning board attorney wasn't able to sit still long enough to marshal her powers of concentration to listen to the concerns of terrorism associated with the Coptic Church Youth Center application, as well as her refusal to investigate on the real unreliability of the Belleville Police Department to prevent life-threatening crimes in connection with this application, I must remind you, Mayor Melham, of your sworn duty to public safety by calling to your mind once again the following. In the Belleville Times article titled Extra Security for Orthodox Christmas Celebrants, dated Friday, January 7, 2011, the Township Manager, Victor Cannon, with respect to the harsh security imposed on the Belleville, New Jersey taxpayer for the protection of St. Mary's Coptic Orthodox, the applicant's church, from terrorists, said these are law enforcement matters on a federal level. I could not comment on this matter because it could put people's life in jeopardy. Residents have to understand that the world we live in today is filled with people that do really horrible, unthinkable things. I apologize to them, but this is the world we live in. At the September 6, 2012 zoning board meeting, Chairman Dergershow held himself up as a security expert, publicly declaring if anybody knew about security, it was me. At the January 5, 2012 zoning board meeting, when questions were raised about the reason for Police Captain Meshi looking at the thickness from the wall on this proposed structure, Captain Meshi responded, "Should anyone try? If somebody tries to take a shot from the outside." When Mr. Delgershow interjected to say, What you could only do is to take the most prudent measures to avoid anything from happening. But nothing is foolproof anywhere, and if anybody proved that, it is 9/11, okay? Councilman Rovell's Foley, in advocating for a parking deck under a structure without any foolproof means of protecting the public from terrorism, gunfire to solve the parking issues on Academy Street. At the October 26, 2021 council meeting, we did not take into account the dangerous position in which the planning board has now placed my family by spreading a massive configuration where shootings can occur across the front of my home. That the living, breathing souls on the other side of Academy Street have been denied the right to protection since it isn't foolproof means defending anyone from terrorism who will be shooting at this building when it approved PB 2116, 125 Academy Street. Alex Gasbarro, Academy Street.
Any other comments were emailed in?
Yes, public comment number 2. This is from Mr. Vic Mafushi, 61 Continental Avenue. Merry Christmas or whatever else you may celebrate, and a happy and healthy new year to all council members and town employees. Also, through the mayor to Mr. Icona. Has PSC&G given a date when all partial street pavings will be completed? That's it.
Mr. Icona?
No, and I certainly can reach out.
Please do. Today at the senior building, several seniors, especially on Greylock Parkway, are frustrated because the road has been torn up forever. There's construction material and debris everywhere, and soon they're going to be saying it's too cold to
But with
put
the good
asphalt.
weather, I know they're trying to do their best, and then what happens is, when the temperatures drop, it prevents them. So we'll get an updated status from the council, and certainly I'll reach out to Mr. Mafucci.
If I may?
Sure.
And then what happens with the winter upon us and snow and then plowing and the streets get ripped up again? Where and who fixes that and how fast will that be addressed for the public?
So if they fix a street, it shouldn't get damaged. If the street's not fixed,
Well,
then they come back in the spring.
okay, so it's up to us. So it's up to us to,
Can you point the microphone to?
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but if I'm looking that way.
No, I know, but just, I mean, for the rest of the public commenting. Okay, so we are officially open for public commenting, and Ms. Frantantoni, I know you had your hand up. You can go first. Okay.
Age before beauty.
Mayor and council, I've been blessed, my normal blood pressure 100/70. When that Vessel Technologies made that presentation tonight, I'm sure it went over 200. I mean, do any of you care about children? Do any of you care about children to even allow that presentation here tonight? The rec house, you pontificate, we don't have enough for our children, right? You're all a bunch of phonies. How would you even allow him to stand down and make that presentation? And you, Mr. Mayor, you seem to know a lot about it. So I don't know if you met before this, but you knew a lot of details that you offered tonight. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself to even think of getting rid of any recreation site in the township of Belleville. And you stated, this is only preliminary, we don't know if we're going to do it, please not go. Well, I am going to make this public, real public, and I will continue. Every 38,000 people in Belleville are going to know about this. Take away one of our recreation sites to make these developers, all these developers come out. Look at the abortion approved last week down the street on the corner of Greenwich and William. A 6-story monster. No side yards, no rear yards, no front yard built, and every square inch of that property. Are you guys proud of that, right? And now I understand through the grapevine, the King property there. We're going to build, 18, 20 units over there? First of all, you deal with Dr. Tomko all the time. That is the ideal thing. Not renting your property, not renting State Fair. They should buy that right next to our middle school. Right next to our middle school. If Dr. Tomko, the real estate man, wants to do something, that should be it. Not 20 units on that site. Aren't you guys ashamed of yourself? What's going on in this township? Look at the monster. The Army barracks style, 258 units, a block away. Isn't that ugly? What's going to happen in the winter? The other day, a nice sunny day, you can't even see the street. It's all shaded by that ugly monster on there. But this recreation site, it just boggles the mind that you folks who care so much about children, again, you're phonies. You're phonies. The last meeting, I gave Councilman Graziano pictures. When I was in office, we renovated the entire recreation site. 2 brand-new full basketball courts. Beautiful. The minute I got out of office, they tore them down. And they put a latrine there that nobody used. It's always locked. Under your administration, 3.5 years, it's never opened. You know, we go all over. I got 6 grandchildren. We go to all the games, recreation sites. We have to go to the toilet. They're open. Not in Belleville. We took down 2 beautiful courts. Did you show them the pictures?
No, I didn't.
Mr. Graziano? Well, I'll bring him. And I got over 200 pictures of all the renovations I did in only 3 years in office. And there's guy in the audience now a friend of mine, who wanted to change the council manager form of government, the commission form to council manager. But every recreation site, if you want, I'll bring it. It's a whole wooden box of before and after pictures. What have you done for children in this town? What have you done for children in this town? Nothing. And now this has got to stop. This here, the Greenwich Street. And then who's watching the store? A couple of weeks ago, my wife and I were going out. We stopped at a stop sign on the corner. And there's an employee, I won't mention his name, of Department of Public Works, sweeping leaves into the sewer. All right? Who's watching the store? This is crazy. But I have other things to say, but
Your time
I
is
just
almost
got to
up, Mr. Anton.
repeat it and repeat it, repeat it. If you ever even think of that, everybody in town is going to know you want to get rid of that recreation site. It's so, I just swear, it's probably 250 my blood pressure now. You people, please, and Mr. Graziano, you're for recreation, you always talk, you've been there 3.5 years. You made a lot of speeches and all. What have you actually done for the children?
Oh, Mr.
Except
Frantantoni,
talk.
your time is now up. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
And
time, sir.
hopefully your time will be up soon
Thank
too,
you.
Mr.
Okay.
Mayor.
So what have we done for recreation? Let's see, $5.5 million stadium complex, eight-lane competitive track, 2 more turf fields, futsal field down at number 9 school, planned for $1 million field down there at no taxpayer expense. We've redone basketball court at Fairway. The school district did a great job, not us, school district, great job. Number 8 school, I think we've done a heck of a lot more for recreation than anybody's done in the last 15, 20 years here in Belleville. I actually thought he'd be grateful that we were doing senior housing or exploring senior housing. Anybody else? Mr. Droz?
Mario Draws, 95 Bell Street. I'm going to bring this subject up one more time. It's about the planning board appointments. I was doing a little research, and I think the planning board appointments are illegal. You have 5 regulars and 1 alternate appointed by the mayor. You're still using a 1975 commission form of government ordinance, which ceased to exist on July 1st, 1990. It was replaced by the council manager form of government. One of the dates was July 31st, 1990, revised February 9th, 1999, revised again September 9th, 2003, and you were on the council at that time. Then what caught me here is on July 1st, 2018, resolution number 10 and 11, the mayor and council voted to appoint the members, class 4 I'm talking, not the other classes, of course. So what changed? What I don't understand is what changed from 2018 till today? But it was okay for the council as a whole, according to the ordinance. I don't see that 1975 ordinance. It is not, it has been repealed. You cannot use that 1975 ordinance. But if you insist upon it, I'll do what I have to do. And also, being that I believe that the appointments are illegal, I think the master plan is illegal because that means illegal appointments made the master plan. That is something you have to look at. And also, when I look at that master plan, and I've heard the comments here for several years, It's constantly revolved around one group of people, millennials. Well, but there's other groups of people here. There's younger, there's older, but all this housing is revolved around one group of people, which I think is discriminating against other groups. Now, are you going to still tell me that your appointments are legal? Yes or no? That's all I need to know.
I made an appointment today to the library board. My
No,
appointment's to the
that's
library-
your appointment. I wouldn't dispute that at all. I would never dispute that. But are you saying your appointments to the planning board are legal? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Good, that's all I wanted to know. Nothing else, which brings me to another subject. This is what annoys the heck out of me. If you go online, you look around on different properties, 2 Acme Street, Belcasa. What kills me is there's nothing in front of the planning board because the Wawa and all that storage facility is behind it. They're advertising online that 500 residential units are being built. Where are they getting this information from? No, I'm just bringing it up.
Anonymous letter that was distributed
Yeah,
to their property.
this is
Mario.
crazy. Now here,
Maybe
250
that's where they got it from.
259 Washington Avenue, which Mr. Frantantoni just mentioned, on a market for 1.1 million, 17 units, 1 bedrooms. They're on a 100 by 100 lot. My question is, it didn't even go in front of the board. How could they be advertising something like this and it didn't come in front of the board? Something stinks, definitely. I just don't understand.
The advertising police. I don't know. You're coming to here complaining about that. We have no
I don't
bearing
know.
on how.
But I'm just
that-
wondering if, do they have an insight here? Somebody's talking to them. I mean, I wouldn't spend $1 million and have it under contract now, and it's not even built yet, and it's under attorney review, rather, I should say. 1.1 million. How does he know he's going to get approved? Do they know something we don't know? No, I think that's crazy. Anyway, we'll move on to resolution number 15. What is the purpose of that? Okay, I'll give you a question, then you give me the answer when I sit down, okay?
Sure, your time is almost up, though.
I know, that's why I'm doing this real fast. Resolution 16 to 22 was not on the agenda online, and it's on today. Can you tell me who the attorneys are from 16 to 22 and explain resolution number 15? And also, I noticed that guy's still not done with his project, Alma Realty, the geriatric center. I hope he doesn't think because he gave you a $500 donation to your campaign, he can drag his feet. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Resolution 15 is the real estate appraisal. So as Mario knows, because he's been up here actually, at the end of the year, we appoint a lot of professionals. So you see a lot of different resolutions here for attorneys, not because we have to hire an attorney to use them next week, but every single year, their bids are up or their RFPs are up January 1st. So you see 8 or so different resolutions appointing various amounts of attorneys. Not that we have the need for those attorneys, but we have to qualify them. If you were paying attention to the website, which I know you do, Mario, you would have noticed that an RFQ or RFP went out. Those bids were then received. We then tend to qualify. I believe our practice, for the most part, is that we actually qualify most attorneys that actually respond. We don't necessarily pick and choose. Usually, if 4 attorneys respond as labor, we qualify all 4 of them. This way, throughout the course of the 12 months, if the town attorney needs to utilize one of them, he has the ability to utilize one of them. The specific attorneys' names I don't have here with me, but we're not hiring an attorney for a specific case right now. We're not spending any money right now. We are qualifying all of our professionals. It's the last meeting of the year, and we're qualifying them for 2022. Yeah, and I'm sorry, the appraisal, we're qualifying an appraisal. That one I think we do have a need for. We got a $250,000 grant to acquire a piece of property on the south side of Washington Avenue. In order to acquire that property for free, by the way, we have to appraise it. We realized we did not have a qualified appraiser, therefore we issued an RFP for appraisal services, and we're qualifying an appraiser now. Anybody else from public commenting? Mrs. Frantantoni.
Phyllis Frantantoni. The parking lot that I keep complaining about over here across Washington Avenue by the pizza place
Yep.
over here, wherever we are. Okay. I did a little research myself. You can put a light up there without any electric. All you gotta do is put a pole up there and then put solar panels for during the day to accumulate and the light go on, and problem will be solved. That is really bad. Somebody's gonna really get mugged in there bad. We talk about all this stuff about with all the crimes going on, and which another thing, I don't even think you should be talking about what's going on with that crime that went on in Belleville. You may not realize and say something a little off, and it would harm the process that they're doing. So it's better left things unsaid. And the Christmas lighting that we have in here, and I said it last year, up on the poles. This past Sunday, we took a ride down towards Smithsville and all around there, went through all these little towns. Their lights on the poles are bright, light thing. Can't we do something? I mean, it looks like I hate to say it, but purple is the color for funerals, but it's all, you can't even see them on the pole. Can't we add lights onto that? I mean, it doesn't look nice.
Got it.
So, and with the rec house, please, I mean, I know I've been in Belleville for over 50-something years. When something is said and we're looking into it, down the road it happens. We need the recreation at that rec house. There are a lot of kids that go there and a lot of the peanut league and everything that goes there. And I can't understand how it can get so bad without taking care of the property or the building. I don't get it. If we did that in our home, we would be fine. Got to take care of them. I mean, Belleville is supposed to be mean, beautiful village. We're becoming the concrete village. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Mr. Henn?
Gary Hinton, 307 Fairway Avenue. I right by the high school, and I've seen these huge piles of dirt in the stadium. Are they filling that in all over there?
Those piles of dirt have been there for months. They're going to stay there for months. They're surcharging the property.
They're surcharging. So if they leave that there and they're raising the level there, all that water, when it floods, is going to go into the high school and do damage to the high school?
No, that dirt is acting like a weight on a sponge, clearing out the water that's underneath it it's a bog.
It's a bog.
That
Right.
dirt will eventually be leveled out, back down to level, and
Oh,
carted away if need be.
that dirt is from there?
No, they brought that dirt in to weigh it down.
So you're adding more dirt to it, so naturally it's going to raise the water level and the water's going to go into the high school. So,
No.
did they do anything with any pumps there? The pumps?
I mean, this has been the subject of many different meetings that you probably missed, but there's a
Right.
ton of drainage on that dirt that's there, like I just said. They brought in dirt to act as a weight. That dirt will not be that height when everything is down. It's acting as a weight on a sponge to squeeze out the water that's underneath the ground. On top of that, once the turf field is there, there's going to be plenty of drainage there. It'll drain far better than it ever did.
Where's it going to drain to?
I'm assuming it's going to drain through stormwater, so storm sewer,
To where?
storm sewer.
It's up, the level's up higher there. Another thing, the rec house, like to say, you're getting rid of properties left and right. There's not much property left in Belleville for the kids, playgrounds and stuff. I think the recreation house would be a bad move on that. And why don't they do something down on number 1? They took the school away down there. You got
It's already in private hands, already in private hands,
It's what?
already in private hands.
Oh, okay.
Show me another piece of property we could put senior housing, and I can guarantee you this room will be full of people complaining about the senior housing.
Yeah.
It's just, wherever we go, that's where everybody else seems to go against.
Right. And the last thing, you have no new word yet on the Fairway Avenue? the
DEP, no,
handrail?
no, we're waiting on them, no. But we were
this
very
is-
happy with the walkthrough.
I was too, and I thank yous for bringing them all together and everything, but I've been down this road
Sure.
before, and hopefully that this isn't the end of it, that they all just come out and said, yeah, we got a problem and nothing done. So hopefully that they'll get them at the very least, to remove that construction debris from the graveyard.
Sure.
Thank you.
Anybody else public commenting? Ms. Fleischman?
Good evening, Carmel Fleischman, 833 Main Street. First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hopefully in 2022, the world can get kind kind of back to semi-normal. Couple of things. The garbage on Main Street, it's ugly again. There's a lot of debris. I think a lot of the leaves were covering it, and it's just a mess again. So that needs to be looked into. It's becoming somewhat of a sinkhole. Just before the Lidl, just before you make that turn onto that little street near those condos, it's part of their, I don't know if it's part of their driveway or if it's just all the street. So if somebody can look into that. I see that the lovely decorations didn't make it all the way down into the Belleville Center, as always. You know, it just seems that every area that we live in doesn't get the full decorations. Happened on Franklin, happened over here. Is it us? I just, just curious. As we were starting to watch the meeting online, that's why we came over, because we were going to stay at home and watch it online, but no. I think we have senior housing in Belleville, do we not?
We have one private building. It's only one wing of that building, about 38 units. So we have 38 units of 55 and older subsidized. I wouldn't necessarily call it senior, but we have one wing of one building, 38 units, I think. And it's open to the entire county. This would be specifically for Belleville residents, if we could find a suitable location for it.
Okay. I think there's got to be another location, I'm sorry, in Belleville. I wish,
Open to that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, because again, like everyone's saying, you can't take the kids. Seriously, they're thinking about taking children's swings away? That's kind of mean-spirited. Come on, in the Christmas season.
Just so you know, that's a pretty big area. This building is a one building. And it was the only property that they couldn't come and do a mock-up without a target location. That was one particular property that was chosen.
Right.
Large enough that Belleville owns it. It may very well be at the reservoir if we get pretty close, if we get any closer with Newark.
Right.
It
But
was-
the thing of it
But
is.
let's just, I know they want, not necessarily you.
No.
But I know that everybody wants they're taking this away from children, a headline after tonight. How about we focus on, we're trying to get senior housing in Belleville?
No, that's
Rather
great.
than
That's
the
great,
negative
but
part
I
of, that's
think-
not going to happen, by the way.
I think that there possibly could be other locations.
Sure. Councilman Cosarelli already said he wasn't fond of the location. I'm not fond of the location.
Right.
It was a presentation.
I mean, let's play the devil's advocate. Let's say, okay, let's say it gets approved. The traffic on Geralman.
But we're way, I don't want you to eat up your time on traffic on a project that's probably not happening.
Okay, that's that. Was there anything else tonight? I'm asking you. I think that was it. But yeah, like I said, the garbage over on Main Street,
Mr. Manager, or you're taking
it's-
notes, or Bobby?
Because, and a lot
got
of
that.
it, and I'm gonna tell you something, a lot of it, it's the post office.
I agree.
It's those white bins that seem to be floating everywhere, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public commenting? Hearing, one more?
Yes, good evening. Belleville resident, my name is Frank Acuna. And this is the first time I'm coming here to this meeting, so do expect me to see my face more often, gentlemen. So I got a few topics to cover real quick. One of them is between Little Street and Union Avenue. In the past 10 months, there have been between 7 and 8 accidents. All of them, I don't know about any casualties, but there has been, okay? I've called multiple times to talk to the person responsible, I guess, for signaling in the town. They finally put a sign that says to slow down, that shows you how fast are you going. It has helped. Okay, however, every time that I do cross that intersection, the vehicles parked closest as you're going up the hill, crossing Union. The vehicle closest to the left blocks your view from any incoming traffic, right? And that's not blocked, that's legal parking. So it's on the opposite side as well. On the right-hand side, you don't see what's coming from on top of the hill. And if they're going a little bit too fast and you move too slow, you're gonna get hit. Failure to collect recycle. The garbage, I don't have any issues. I don't see that much of an issue being picked up. But when it comes down to recycle or bulk recycle, every so often it happens. I don't know if that is the standard, but at least it is the standard that I see within a 4 blocks radius from my house as I drive around. Briefly touching on the recreation staff, I'm a volunteer coach for I've been in the town for 4 years. For the past 3 years, I've been volunteering with a rec center, coaching soccer for the kids. I don't have any tools to do my coaching better. I get 6 balls for 16 kids. I have no pennies. I get no training cones. The space that I'm given to train kids that are going to be playing in a full field is nothing but 1/4 of the field when I go. And I know, we got limits within the high school because of the work going on. But even before that, the times and the fields and the equipment that I was given to help coach these kids was very limited, right? I was here last Thursday. I listened to a lot of the things that was being said, and I need to get myself more involved. But this approval for these buildings without any side yards and understanding how that can potentially affect the continuous floods that happen down the hill are of a concern to myself. Also, I've lived here for nearly 4 years. I haven't heard any type of outreach from the community or any type of community watch to help the law enforcement keep the community safe. I keep hearing multiple complaints on Thursday and today from multiple residents here, and it just sounds that they're not being taken serious. And I say that because they're coming here asking for the follow-up, right? From where I come from, when somebody comes for the question, the person posed a question to goes back to the individual with the answer. Usually doesn't wait for the next meeting, wait 30, 60, 90 days, and hopefully that individual remembers what that question is.
Sir, I need you to just address us, please.
Pose a question, and then they might get the answer, or might not get the answer, or let's postpone it for the next meeting to find the answer. So with that being said, I don't know if there is a letter within the town where all these questions that we're presenting to you guys are presented to the entire community. Hey guys, this is what's happening in town. This is the concern that some of the residents have, and this is the follow-up that we have for those questions. That's what I have.
Okay, thank
Mr.
you.
Acuna, can you just repeat your address?
338 Little Street.
Thank you.
So the last one was a question. Is there a letter, or how do you guys communicate this information to
No,
the residents who are not present here?
No, so just so you know, sir, and this is your first meeting, and I hope
Correct.
to see you again in the future. So we show up here every 2 weeks and we vote on things, but it's really our professionals. The manager here is runs the day-to-day operations of the township. So therefore, a lot of questions that we get, we have to refer down to him, and then he then follows up. You see multiple directors in the room here today. Count 3. We have police department, fire department, and DPW all. And finance, I'm sorry, and finance here. So when Ms. Fleischman complained, rightfully so, about the litter on Main Street, I saw our director there writing it down.
Got it.
With regard to Union Avenue, I've been in contact with the gentleman that lives on the corner of Tiona and Union, and he's the one that actually came to Belleville and then went to the county to get that radar thing going there.
Okay.
And I know our deputy chief is here today representing the police department, so that intersection there, he can make some notes and have, so things happen, but we don't necessarily stay on top and follow up and put it anywhere out there in the public. But you don't have to wait 2 weeks for a council meeting to address some of your concerns. The township manager's office is open 40 hours a week, police department's always open. We tell residents all the time, you don't have to come necessarily here to complain, because all we could do is just refer your comments to either the manager, who could disseminate that the next day, or to any professionals that are here.
Very well.
But I did take down some of your notes. So the garbage has been a systemic issue in this town for 2 years now. We've been promising residents we're going out to bid. We did go out to bid. Guess what, everybody? One bidder, the same exact contractor that we had. And I'm not going to comment on the price. Recycling is also, you're one of the few people that don't have complaints about the garbage collection, because everybody else seems to have complaints about the garbage. Recycling, though, same exact contractor, similar type issues. There's a work shortage issue that he keeps complaining about. Again, talk about my frustration with the incident earlier. My frustration with residents complaining about garbage is we're going out for bid. Imagine my frustration now when only one person bids and it's the same exact vendor. And then you mentioned something about our police department. We definitely do support. I know that you can read or see some public comments about people that seem to be anti-police. Every single person up here loves our police department. We always support our police department.
Right, so that's where my question came about. Like, I've lived here for some years, and I haven't, maybe I didn't receive the notification, but I just don't see any community watch, community
So what I'll end with
integration
this,
with.
because our time is up, what I'll end with this, make sure you follow the Township social media,
Okay.
Police Department social media, and make sure you subscribe to our 911 service, where you'll get automated calls all the time.
Okay. All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Anybody else before we conclude? Hearing none, seeing none, I'm going to entertain a motion to close public commenting.
Motion.
We have a motion made and second to close public commenting. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilman Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We got it. Vinnie? Vinnie?
2021,
Great job, Vinnie.
please, thank you.
2021. Unless it changed, I didn't have anything else. Nope. Okay, we're going to entertain a motion to move the consent agenda with the exception of resolutions
20 and
20 and 21. Can I have a motion to move the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second it.
Motion made, second to move the consent agenda. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes.
2021, just a roll call for those together, actually.
Okay, roll call vote for those, 20 and 21 together, moving them together. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
No.
DePena?
No.
Graziano?
No.
Mayor Melham?
No. Okay, new business. Hearing none, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.